Hi, you are on Lyric Media, where information is key and accuracy is the drive. We update you with information and trending news about the EV Lyric Cadillac and other upcoming EVs from the Cadillac company. So if you're an EV enthusiast or owner, this is the place for you. We operate as a family. We listen to your comments and create all of the necessary videos with the information you require to keep you up to date on the EV world. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, like this video, and click that notification bell to remain posted with our recent posts. Thank you. Do you know that the name Cadillac used to be synonymous with the best? People would talk about being the Cadillac of whatever, such as being the Cadillac of healthcare plans or the Cadillac of high-end sound systems. Some of you may be aware that the WW2P 51 Mustang was dubbed the Cadillac of the sky. And that's because there was a time when Cadillac was hailed as the finest luxury car that money could buy. It represented the best of everything. Ever since Cadillac won the prestigious Dewar Award in England way back in 1908, it adopted the slogan, the standard of the world, and it was until it lost it sometime in the 1970s and never got it back. Now, Cadillac is pinning. Its resurgence is in the Celestiq, a hand-built luxury sedan that will be made in extremely low volume. I believe that if Cadillac truly wants to be considered the standard of the world, again, it needs to charge at least $350,000 for this car, maybe more. And though many of you will think I'm out of my mind, let me go through the history of how I came to this conclusion. Henry Leland founded Cadillac in 1897. In 1902, which he later sold to General Motors, and not many people are aware of this, but Leland also started the Lincoln Motor Company, which he later sold to Ford. The same guy who started Cadillac also started Lincoln. Leland was a stickler for precision machining, and he wanted to show the world the superiority of Cadillac's quality and engineering. In 1908, the Royal Automobile Club of Great Britain announced that the Dewar Trophy that year would go to any automaker that could achieve the perfect interchangeability of parts in Europe at that time. This was unheard of. Every part that went into a car had to be hand-finished and finessed. Literally, every car was different. Nothing was interchangeable, and only one manufacturer had the confidence to enter the competition, Cadillac. Leland provided the judges with 3 cars, which they completely disassembled, jumbled up all the parts, and reassembled. The cars not only had the pieces fit together perfectly, the judges were able to drive each car for 500 miles without any problems. Then, in 1912, Cadillac won the Dewar Trophy. Again, this time for offering the first car with an electric self-starter that started the company on a path where it would excel in technological leadership. In 1914, it was the first to make a mass-produced V8 engine, winning the Dewar trophies and coming out with that V8, which really put Cadillac on the map. But all that did was earn the reputation as being one of the finest engineered cars that you could buy. Not necessarily the best luxury car, that honor went to Packard. Owning a Packard was considered to be at the top of social prestige. In 1920, General Motors went through a thorough reorganization and Cadillac was given the task of overtaking and surpassing Packard, but it wasn't easy. For example, when Cadillac came out with its V8, Packard came out with a V12. So Cadillac came out with a V16, even though there were other engines with more power in the eyes of the public. Having the 16, you had the ultimate something that no one else had, and you could only get it from Cadillac. That created a halo effect for the rest of the brand. Throughout the 1920s and 30s, Cadillac went on a product onslaught. A V12 was added and more models had more body styles, longer wheelbases, and even custom bodies from Fleetwood. It took 20 years from roughly 1920 until 1940, but Cadillac finally surpassed Packard as the top luxury brand, and it stayed there until the 1970s. But that should give you an idea of how hard it is to get the public to believe it. Your car is the best. It took 20 years of unrelenting effort. What killed Cadillac's image was that it got greedy instead of maintaining its air of exclusivity. It won't be the first time sales volume has Cadillac general manager during most of the 1970s. The company was run by Bob Lund, who had come from Chevrolet, and he brought a Chevrolet marketing mentality with him by 1979. Cadillac sales were almost 4 to 5% higher than in 1970 Dodge, and while everyone at GM was patting themselves on the back for selling over 345,000 Cadillacs, no one seemed to realize they had destroyed the brand. Image Cadillacs were everywhere. They were no longer exclusive. Meanwhile, around 1970, Mercedes-Benz became the first luxury brand to come up with a car that cracked. The $10,000 price barrier. Mercedes-Benz dealers stopped the company was insane. They thought no one was going to pay 10 grand for a car, except that they did. You see, amongst the very wealthy, buying the best is very important. What do you think Mercedes uses as the tagline? The best or nothing? It's because they know the rich want the best and we're all Mercedes priced. It stopped cars at 10 grand. It instantly sparked in everyone's mind that the best car that you could buy was a Mercedes, and Cadillac made it easy for Mercedes. It came out with a slew of models that were decidedly not the standard of the world, like the downsized front-wheel drive Cadillacs of the early 1980s. I mean, come on, a downsized Cadillac. That's an oxymoron. Then came the Cimarron, a cheap front-wheel drive compact car that was a badge-engineered version of the Chevrolet Cavalier. Those cars destroyed Cadillac's image. It made several runs at trying to regain its former glory. It really did. The science and art strategy were launched about 2 decades ago. Boosted sales in the more recent V-Series performance cars, which are absolutely world-class, have helped boost the brand's image, but it hasn't been enough in the court of public opinion. Cadillac is still not at the level of Mercedes, BMW, or Audi, and that's why it's doing the Celestiq first off. It recognizes the move to electric cars presents it with a real opportunity and maybe its last chance to climb to the top of the luxury class to become the standard of the world. Again, the Celestiq is a large sedan that is entirely electric. Cadillac has not released any specifications, but I have seen a design studio mock-up of the vehicle. To my eyes, it looks to be about as long as a Cadillac Escalade, but it's not squared off like the Slade with a big blingy grille. Instead, it's got a clean, long look that slopes down to a fastback and a boat tail rear end. When you see it out on the street, it's going to make a statement. In fact, that's how I heard GM internally refer to this car as the statement. More importantly, the Celestiq will be hand-built. General Motors are currently picking their best. UAW workers with the highest skills and abilities make these cars. And Cadillac has released some pictures of the details of the car that show an exquisite attention to detail and design. My favorite is the door hinge, which looks like a piece of finely machined equipment that you could proudly display in your living room, since the top line Escalade V-Series cost $150,000. I thought that, at first, Cadillac would charge about $200,000 for the Celestiq, maybe even $250,000. But then I learned they're only going to build 400 of them a year for the global market. That's when I realized this car is going to be far more exclusive than anything that Mercedes offers and even more exclusive than anything from Rolls-Royce. I mean, 400 cars a year is nothing. They could probably sell that many in China alone, and when you build something in very low volume, you have to charge a lot more to cover all your costs, since the cheapest Rolls-Royce right now costs about $330,000. I realized that Cadillac has got the charge of at least that and probably more. That's why I'm saying the Celestiq will cost over $350,000. In fact, I hear they're going to offer a bespoke version where customers can order just about anything they want on the car, and those versions will likely go for over $400,000. You know, the rich don't only want to buy, they want everyone else to know they're driving the best and that they spent a lot of money on it. They're not looking for bargains or discounts, but they also want to know they spent their money wisely and that they got something incredibly exclusive with lots of fantastic features, which will broadcast to the rest of the world that they have impeccable taste and are somebody truly special. You give them that and they'll buy it. If I'm right about the price and the sales volume, then the Celestiq program is only going to generate about $150 million a year in revenue. As you probably know, $150 million in the auto industry is chump change. That kind of money. The money falls off the table when GM counting the profits, and that shows this program is not about generating profits or sales. It's about creating an image of exclusivity, the kind of image that will create a halo for the rest of the models in the lineup, and that's the kind of effort it's going to take for Cadillac to get back to being the standard of the world. This is all the information we have for you at the moment. Lyric Media is a channel to trust, so feel free to subscribe to our channel in order not to miss out on our video updates, and feel free to comment on your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and until our next video, stay well.